taken care of, telling reporters that people were starving in the besieged Palestinian territory. Let's take a listen in to his statement.
And we're looking at Gaza, and we got to get that taken care of. A lot of people are starving. A lot of people there's a lot of bad things going on.
We're now joined by Joshua Barnes, correspondent for NewsX World. Joshua, this comes obviously as there's a private companies looking to supply aid into Gaza. Can you tell us a little bit about the humanitarian situation that's going on in the region, which the US here are trying to address? Joshua, can you tell us a bit more about the humanitarian situation in Gaza?
Yes, absolutely, Thomas. So the situation currently in Gaza has been called worrying by many groups. Fears of starvation, famine, and also an inability to deal with injuries that are coming from military action within the Gaza Strip. Now, an aid blockade has been put in place by Israel since the beginning of March. The situation, of course, has worsened with many humanitarian groups saying that aid supplies, food supplies are dwindling. Of course, this blockade from Israel has been questioned, but it has been a key part of their resumption in fighting. Their fear is that if this aid comes in, it could go into the hands of Hamas, who then hold even more power over the people, the Palestinian people living in the Gaza Strip. Action from the IDF has continued. Over 140 deaths have been reported by Hamas-run health ministry officials, we must say, since yesterday morning. The situation is worsening, and there is a fear around mass starvation. Many humanitarian organisations in Gaza are reporting similar things. This is in some way disputed by Israel. Israeli officials have said that there is aid in Gaza, and their concern, as I've mentioned, is it getting into the hands of Hamas. Ultimately, the issue here remains with the fact that there are over 50 hostages, dead and alive, still being held by Hamas. The release of hostages, the disbanding of Hamas, and a disarmament as well is key for Benjamin Netanyahu if he's to end hostilities in the Gaza Strip. The situation is difficult. Of course, families of loved ones in Israel are consistently putting pressure on the Israeli government, saying more needs to be done. A golden window of opportunity is here for these hostages to be released. Of course, on the flip side, the individuals in Gaza, the innocent individuals who are living in a war zone. We have all seen the images of Gaza in its current state, with that humanitarian crisis as well that's being reported by so many groups. The situation is horrific for so many. Talks do continue, diplomatic efforts are also continuing, and this from the US is a big step. Marco Rubio, Donald Trump have spoken about the lack of aid that appears to be in Gaza and the situation for so many civilians, over 2 million people living in Gaza. US efforts to bring private companies in to sort out aid. The distribution is an area that will need to be looked at. Of course, it is key that this aid doesn't fall into the hands of Hamas. We've seen the actions that they carried out on the 7th of October 2023. We've seen the hostage handovers, almost military-like rituals. It's vital for the US and for Israel that the aid doesn't go into the hands of Hamas, but it's equally as vital that the people in Gaza get the medical supplies, the food, and everything else that they need. A positive move, but we're still, of course, like with the Russia-Ukraine ceasefire talks, we're still at somewhat of an impasse with Hamas not agreeing to disarmament, disbandment, or currently releasing all of the remaining hostages. Israel's offensive will continue in the meantime.
Joshua Barnes, thank you very much for joining us. We now move over once again.